Good evening, happy Monday. Welcome to the Stephen Knight Show. Hope you're having a great one. We'll try our best to make it even better. Tonight, we're breaking down all the hot topics everyone's talking about. We're getting close to the end of the government shutdown. Find out more about that. Trump has issued a pardon for some of his election 2020 deniers, and then Diddy is denying being caught drinking alcohol in prison. The later Zendaya and Sydney Sweeney are reportedly at odds. Find out why. Raven Simone is sharing how she personally separates Bill Cosby's cultural impact from the allegations against him. All that and much more. We're all over social media, Facebook, Blue Sky, X, and of course our YouTube channel, The Stephen Knight Show. Please subscribe and comment. Now tomorrow is Veterans Day, so shout out to all the vets and everyone who served this country. We definitely appreciate your service to us all. And then the last Friday was Brittany's birthday, so happy belated birthday to you, Brittany. Would you do anything fun?
Yes, I had a girls' night out,
Okay,
and nobody got left behind. We came together, we left together. I went to SCK,
nice.
and I saw Black Phone 2.
Okay,
Horrible.
no,
It was do not go see that movie. It was a waste of time, and I really liked the first one, so I was highly disappointed. So
but you had a good one.
yeah, I did have a great one.
That's good. Glad to hear that. Oh well, here's our question of the day. This is another one from a podcast I heard. All right, so a couple has been together for 18 years. Early on in the relationship, the man proposed to the woman, but she wasn't ready. Went on, and they even had a child, but he never mentioned marriage again. The woman finally proposed to him 18 years later, and he said yes. But now she's questioning should she have waited for him to ask again? Because a lot of women don't think they should ask men to marry them. But what are your thoughts? I'll start with you, Linnea. Was she right to ask him, or should she have waited for him to bring it up again?
I ain't asking no dude to marry me. I'm just not gonna do it.
Yeah.
That's not that is not the natural order. I'm not getting down on one knee. Yeah, no, because yeah, no. Um, it's hard when you just have to answer without context, but 18 years y'all been together and you weren't ready when he asked. What were the conversations before then?
Or even after?
Or in after that, what were the conversations before and after? Um, I feel like it demasculates a man when you do that. That's how I feel. That's my opinion. It is not the view of the Stephen Knight show. It's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Um, because I see all these women on social media who have these unrealistic expectations based off of social media.
Mm-hmm.
And and men too, but I'm just talking from a woman's perspective. And you want men to do X, Y, and Z, but are you even in the space to receive that X, Y, and Z? Like you want somebody that got perfect credit. Do you have perfect credit?
Yeah.
You want somebody that has his own house. Do you have your own house? Like, like you want them to not have any kids, but you have children. It's different things that I'm seeing on the internet with these women, and it boggles my mind. But more power to a woman who decides to get down on one knee and be like, "Marry me, fella."
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like she wears the pants, but that's just my opinion.
Brittany, let me ask you, because I asked some women today at work, and they said that it's 2025, and it's okay for women to ask, and that the man probably didn't want to ask again because she had already said no the first time. But what are your thoughts?
I mean, I can understand his hesitation. However, me personally, like, no, I'm not asking nobody to marry me because, I ain't doing it. I don't care if it's 2040. I am not because, I can't. I think, to Lanita's point, people be wanting to, they be wanting to be like, oh, it's 2025, we could do it, but then they want a soft girl life and a man to pay all the bills. Or they want gender roles, but then they want the woman to propose. Like, I just be like, if you're gonna exist however you want to exist, you gotta take all that it come with. And as for me, I'm not giving nobody the opportunity to tell me no. So I'm not getting on no need to no man and asking him. And then the audacity of him to ever decline my proposal, I would be livid. Like, no. So I think that there should have been, she should have gave more. I don't know. These questions, is this stuff happening in real life? Like, are you just
That's
making
a
this
real
up?
situation. Yeah, this woman asked
Okay.
she asked the
So I
panel.
feel like she should have been like, no, not right now, but can we talk about it again in 3 years? Or can we get the money together because I don't like the ring you bought me. And you ain't gonna buy me no like little Cracker Jack box ring. Or maybe, whatever the problem was at the time. Could we talk about like that? Because I mean, I think it's an excuse to be afraid.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
18 years later, I wouldn't stay no 18 years. You stay 18 years waiting. Yeah, I ain't doing that either. But she got married and I am not. So maybe she winning because she got the goal is to get married, I guess. So maybe she winning. I don't know.
CK, what did you say to the people that say, well, he asked once and she said no, and that could be an ego check, right? And so maybe he was afraid to ask again and hear no. What do you thought?
I'm going to negate your question because I want to address the whole thing. Um, Men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Right.
We do not think the same. If a man is going to get to the point to ask you to marry him, trust me, in his mind and in his life, he has everything on his side of the field intact.
Mm.
He's not going to ask you to marry him incomplete. That's just how we operate. We will not. And then some women are in relationships and they're waiting for the man to do it. If the man doesn't feel secure in stepping to you with all of his stuff intact, he's not going to ask you. So for a man to get to the point to ask you and you say no, it's like a regression. It's a recess in the relationship. Maybe it may not be physically, but mentally he's reeling on that. And if he even stays with you, and no one is going to wait on the vine. Well, let me not say no one because some people do. The likelihood of someone waiting on the vine for another person is slim to none. But if you do, it's a miracle. And if you can make it past the point to have another opportunity, that's a blessing. But I'm also in the millennium with people. If women want to propose to men, I don't see anything wrong with that. I think that we get so caught up into what society has said that we should be or what tradition should be or what it is. I think it's a fair game and it's open for anyone to do it. If that's what you want, then you should go get what you want. Um, there are probably some men out here that don't know that their ladies want to get married because women sometimes around that subject matter they act demure and want the man to step forward and do it. So they are quiet until they're asked. But sometimes men don't know. Sometimes it's not even on their mind.
Yeah.
So
I have a rebuttal to Chiki's point.
let's do it.
I think Chiki, like, I do think men don't always be waiting till the right time. There are some men that'll propose to you out of apology. Oh, I'm sorry, baby. Let's go get married. Let's go to therapy. Let's go do this. I'll marry you now. Oh, I'm
Yeah,
in
that little
jail.
boys
Marry
will.
me now.
Little boys will
Like,
do that.
yeah, so it's like they're not always, I mean, little boys, but let's just say, like, there are grown men who are in their 40s
That are
who
little
will
boys.
do, but however, they're still considered men by law that will do that to a woman that'll marry you and give you what you want out of the apology of all that they took you through, regardless of whatever else they have going on, and they're not in their ideal situation. Now, there are more emotionally mature men that will make sure that they wait till the right time, or there are men there. I've seen people get married right out of high school and get married for love. Get married because they think they're doing the right thing by a woman because she got pregnant, even though they might not be ready, because
Mm-hmm.
that's what society
Mm-hmm.
says you should do. I've seen it all kind of reasons of why men
Mm-hmm.
have proposed to women, and it might not always be the right timing for them. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that we as women, I do understand to Chike's point, we can say no, but can we give more explanation on why we're saying no? Or can we, like, I think
I
that
think that depends on the maturity of the person, because sometimes when some people, depending on their mental capacity, when they're rejected, they shut down. It's not always we can move from this rejection and grow from that. That's not always a scenario. And to keep it a bean, some of you ladies are just interested in getting married to say that you're married, and that's a problem.
I
I
think
agree, but I think that the male ego shouldn't be so bruised so easily. If we
It's
say
easy for you to
no,
say because you don't have
it's
a
no.
penis.
I know, but we get embarrassed too. Like, we get our pride hurt too. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Everybody else want to turn.
I, I'm sorry, I just heard penis and that was it. I Chike just kind of said what I was thinking. Most women, not all of them, most women just want the show of a wedding. They don't want the marriage. And that's part of the problem. You just want the show. You want to be the center of attention for that day. You want to have the party and all that nonsense. And I read somewhere, this was a while ago, that statistically, those who have these big, lavish, extravagant weddings don't tend to last as long as people who decided to just go real simple, and just keep it, you know what I mean, like less fuss, less stress, because it is a lot putting a wedding together. But when you out here, putting together over $50,000 weddings, I sure enough hope you got a house.
right.
Sure enough hope you got some stuff stashed away and you're just not spending that type of money on one day when the idea is that you guys are going to be together for an extended amount of time, when you could have done something constructive with that money, and not, I don't want to say blown it, because people don't feel like they've blown their money when they do these extravagant weddings. That's not for me. We go to the courthouse and then we can plan out a nice big old cookout. Chike, know I have a family cookout every year. That will be the reception when we're ready.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
have,
it.
Let me
I have,
explain to you the basic wedding for a man and how it's supposed to go, or how they would want it to go. Yo, babe, you gonna love me forever? You gonna be my ride or die? And she'll say yes, and he'll be like, all right, bet, let's do that. And then
Proposal.
that's the marriage.
I don't think that, to Lanier's point, I hear that a lot of women do want the marriage for the wedding, but most women that I have encountered want the marriage for a social status. That's why when they get into it, they be like, no, I'm not a baby mama. I'm an ex-wife, or I'm this. They want the particular label that comes with it, not necessarily the wedding, because a lot of women don't want to have kids out of wedlock and just be labeled a baby mama. That's demeaning. So I
So
get,
I agree with you, Brittany, on that one, but that takes us into a whole nother thing that we could talk about, which is very interesting to me. And it's how society treats women and how women have to fight for their place especially in this country. You're not anything until you're something.
absolutely. I completely agree. And I think that that tops more than the desire for the wedding, because it's like too many people out here. Well, not now. They're saying now people are having babies in their 40s, but before, people are out here having reckless sex and then having kids
Mhm.
outside of the wedlock, which would force the pressure of when y'all gonna get married and you marrying the wrong person.
And then even on that, what is the difference of you getting married, right, and having a baby and then breaking up and getting a divorce, and you're
I
still a
completely
single mom?
agree.
It's okay because you were once married and you don't have to wear that scarlet letter of being, a baby
A
mama.
baby mom. I completely
It's still
agree.
the same thing.
Yep.
I think it comes down to communication. I don't think there should be any surprise that's if a proposal is turned down, you've already been having those conversations, so you kind of have a time front line of when you're going to be at that point, or when you're at that point, or getting to that point. You're kind of planning
Mhm.
together. But
Yeah.
let us know on Blue Sky or X, was the woman wrong for proposing to her boyfriend of 18 years? All right. So after 40 days of government shutdown, that left thousands of federal workers unpaid, a group of senators have reached a deal they hope that will reopen the government soon. The agreement was made by a mix of Democrats and Republicans that is expected to have enough votes, at least 60, to pass the Senate. If it clears the chamber, it still needs approval from the House of Representatives and Donald Trump's signature before the government can officially reopen. The deal includes a minibus, a small group of spending bills that will fund certain departments like agriculture, through the next fiscal year. The rest of the government will be temporarily funded through January 30th at current spending levels. It also makes sure that supplemental nutrition assistance program, SNAP, will stay funded through next September. That was one of the biggest concerns during the shutdown. The Senate could be again voting on the deal as early as Sunday night. If it passes quickly, the government could reopen within days, but even one senator objects it could delay things further. Now, there's a lot of backlash because the Democrats, they have been holding on to maintain the Affordable Care Act because people are going to lose their insurance. So a lot of people lose their insurance, but the Republicans didn't want to vote on that. They kept saying we will, but Democrats didn't trust Republicans with that. But 8 Democrats went rogue against what the Democratic Party wanted, and they sided with Republicans. So there's a lot of backlash. They're calling to get these people out of office. A lot going on here, but people are saying people are struggling. Tim Kaine, he's a senator in Virginia where he has a lot of federal employees that are losing their SNAP, not getting paid, and so he felt the pressure because a lot of people are going to his office or calling in with their requests. So, what are your thoughts? Do you think that a lot of people say the Democrats are always the ones to give up? They're not fighters. But Chike, what are your thoughts on this possible ending? Because as you know, even the flights were being canceled. I know a lot of people were stuck at the airport, had delays, cancellations, etc. But what are your thoughts?
This is a tough one.
Yeah.
When I first heard this, I was fuming. I was on fire.
Yeah.
Because it seems like the Democrats always capitulate to the madness. And I'm going to quote Auntie Kamala Harris. These MFers are crazy.
Yep.
They are doing the most, and they use the American people as hostage to get their way. And I hate the fact that they're going to get their way with this, but at the same time, I do know people are suffering. It's an immediate fix to a bigger issue that's going to come later on. And at some point in time, this is going to get faced again. And at what point do we stand up and deal with the problem that we have, which is you have a minority group of people who are fighting to take over and to have power. And if you can't realize that, and you're going to be at cost at any point, this was just because they have leverage right now to physically show you that they're in control. And cruelty is the game. That's why they're going so extreme, because they want you to hurt.
Yeah.
And again, I know that people are suffering. They can't put food on the table. They don't have any money coming in. They're not getting paid from their jobs. Honestly, my suggestion is, why are we paying taxes to this cruel regime?
Right.
I'm technically about to go to my employer come January and tell them, stop taking taxes out my check. I'll put it in an escrow account and I'll pay it on the back end. I'm not funding any more insanity. If you want to hold back from people, why should we continue to give to you?
Right.
That's just where I'm at with it. You want to play the game of holdout? Why do we continue to give to them? Let's pull back from the economy. Let's stop giving them the money that they're using to be cruel to us.
Yeah. And Lanier, the federal judges said that the Trump administration had to pay out the SNAP benefits using the reserve that they had, but the Trump administration sued so that they don't have to pay it. And it goes back to what Chike said, cruelty is the goal. What are your thoughts?
Well, they didn't sue, they appealed. They appealed the decision. And that alone should show people that they don't care, that they appealed the decision And of course, when they appealed the decision, and this also ties into people not knowing what they're talking about, it landed on Justice's Ketanji's desk.
Mm-hmm.
And what she did was, and she is a very smart woman.
Yes.
What she did was, if you read her briefing, that minute stay that she gave them gave the lower court more, they gave them basically hurry up and get your shit together.
Mm-hmm.
This is what this is doing for you. So this can, so because they only wanted to do some of the benefits, not all of it.
Right.
And what her decision did is basically telling the lower court, listen, get it together. Y'all got enough time, because with this decision, they're going to have to release all of it.
Yeah.
That's the part that people, because they tried to come for her online.
I saw that.
And this is the reading is fundamental. Because
I'm going to apologize for
yes, because you pop off at the mouth instantly before you even know what is going on, and understanding why she did what she did. But as Chike said, yes, it's hard. I get it. But if we don't do the hard thing, we just continue to languish in this pit of hell with these people doing more and more and more. And I think I said this before, all I'm hearing is talking and I'm not seeing doing. This was the first time that y'all were doing something and holding the line. Because guess what? Those federal workers don't even know if they're going to get back pay.
And by law, they're supposed to. But when you're dealing with the regime that does not acquiesce to the law, right?
They don't acquiesce to the law. So all of this 40 days, there's now if you were, first of all, you were already behind the 8 ball. We're always behind the 8 ball.
Yep.
Now it's times 10, because 9 times out of 10, that's a man who don't pay his bills.
Right. Yeah.
The people who tore down that East Wing for him are complaining that they have not been paid. First of all, why would you even take that job? Right. They're complaining that they haven't been paid.
And possibly open to asbestos. How about that?
Like y'all don't see what y'all dealing with, but people continue to go ahead, Brittany. I can't.
And Brittany, while the government is being shut down over the weekend, Trump was in Mar-a-Lago, had this big elaborate party. He went to all these different sports games, and where he got booed. But the Commanders.
Did you see the salad? Did you see that salad they was eating? I want that steak salad.
Oh yeah, in the tower.
Oh my God, it looks wonderful.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on? You think these Democrats, 8 Democrats that did go rogue and are siding with Republicans, do you think they were right? Do you think they were wrong? What are your thoughts?
I think it's just really sad because we're at a point where the politics are so detrimental that they're evoking really strong emotions. So yeah, I was with Chike where I was like furious because working in HR, we are seeing the anticipated cost of healthcare coverage is about to be deducted next year because they had to make up for the contracts that they were in with certain insurances during COVID and when people were demanding more money. So a lot of companies were taking the hit with dishing out more money to keep people employed while they were still, getting budget cuts on whatever, on insurances or whatever. So now they're trying to shorten the gap between that. And so then on top of that, you have a political administration that wants to do away with the Affordable Care Act that makes healthcare more affordable, for people that are paying however they're getting it. And so for me, it's not a game that healthcare coverage is about to be a luxury. Like, I think that is very scary for a lot of people. Um, and I hate that we are in this situation, but it always does feel like the Democrats have to play to class. They have to act more like, oh, we're not going to do this and they're going to go low and we're going to go high. And sometimes we want y'all to go to hell with these Negroes because it is just absolutely ridiculous. Like, they constantly show their ass and they getting in trouble. So yeah, I do want the Democrats to go into their job and show their motherfucking ass. And it's like nobody wants to do that. And
Right.
it's just like it seems unfair.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like they're not listening to what the people want from them, and you do feel bad for those that aren't getting paid. I mean, they were saying a lot of these TSA employees, they were calling out because they didn't have gas to get to work. They didn't have childcare. You know, it wasn't that they were just calling out because they weren't getting paid. They didn't have means. You know, and
Duval was saying, to your point, Duval said that he was in the air mid-flight, and who are the people over the traffic control, like the office or whatever?
Mhm.
Well, I don't know, whatever office they report to, I
Talking
guess
about
for
air traffic control.
So their office, Duval has his private pilot license. He posted the video of how they were on the microphone telling him as a pilot, like, we only have two people here. We were supposed to be staffed with 10. 8 others called, or he said they have 5 people, only 2 were certified. They had to pull people from other areas to help them out because 8 people had called in. And I thought that was, so he had to air traffic control himself.
That's what. That's what.
And navigating, because I think there was a pilot who spoke about that and having to navigate instead of around a storm, through a storm.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of a street fight.
Yeah,
and
like
and the other ones want to do boxing 101 when we're in a street fight. It doesn't work.
it doesn't work that way. And there are some Democrats who that are out there and they are really fighting, but they can't do it by themselves. And it's just frustrating when you have these people who are supposed to be the voice of the people. And the question is, how much did you get paid? Because y'all get your money during this time.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Well, looks like Donald Trump is still coming through for the folks who were accused of having their hand in trying to overturn the 2020 election results. According to AP News, the president has issued pardons for Rudy Giuliani and others involved with the incident. It was noted that the pardons were called full, complete, and unconditional, and applied to federal crimes, although those names in the proclamation were never charged federally. These pardons follow the ones Trump issued for those who were charged for participating in the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol. The other pardons include Trump's former chief of staff, Mark Meadows, attorney Sidney Powell, lawyer John Eastman, and former Justice Department official Jeffrey Clark. There were also Republicans who acted as fake electors and were charged in state cases. They were charged by prosecutors in Georgia, Arizona, Michigan, Nevada, and Wisconsin. However, those cases have either have been dismissed or they're roadblocks. White House Press Secretary Caroline KK Lovett said these great Americans were prosecuted and put through hell by the Biden administration for challenging the election, which is the cornerstone of democracy. So I heard that a lot of these people are still going to face, because the pardon's only, like they said, for federal crimes, not state crimes. And a lot of these were state cases, but I'm sure there are roadblocks in the way. Brittany, what are your thoughts on Trump? He just continues to pardon people that break the law.
But then meanwhile, he's on Instagram demanding air traffic controllers to go back to their job, or he's going to deduct wages from their paycheck when they do open up and have to pay the back pay. He's going to start charging you for calling out. So I just be like, boy, we are like, I think other people think we eat crayons.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like other countries, they probably look at us and just be like, they probably eat like crayons or like they like aliens or some shit. I don't know.
What's I'm sorry to jump in, but what's bad about that, Brittany? Yeah, I agree with you with the sentiment of where you're going, but it makes the world think that democracy doesn't work. It
Mhm.
makes them think that this big experiment that we've been doing for almost 300 years is a big failure. No wonder we shouldn't do that because this is what could happen.
Mhm. Yep. Yep.
I agree.
Lanier,
I got nothing.
you can't make it up. You can't make it up.
I didn't like his bathroom remodel. It was ugly.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
would never do
Have you
no shit
seen
like
the
that.
Oval Office lately?
All this
You
is,
ain't, he ain't got no taste, so he could just say that shit. Like,
you
leave
know,
it as is.
he was on.
Somebody said that it was the lobby to hell.
That's what it is. And Michelle Obama she was on Sherry Shepherd last week, and they were talking about the portrait. She has a new book out. The portrait that was done. She said there are two portraits that were done that they don't own. She said one is supposed to be hanging up in the White House, but we all know Trump took it down. It's just can't make it up. Can't make it up. All right, well, Reverend Diddy has defended the imprisoned rapper in allegations that he had been caught consuming alcohol while in custody at FCI Fort Dix in New Jersey. Column 56 has not violated any prison rules, his spokesperson said, adding that the musical artist is looking to keep clean while serving his sentence. His sobriety and his self discipline are priorities, the spokesperson said, and he has taken them serious. So it was alleged that they had some type of alcohol that you make in prison. I guess you ferment it and it takes 2 weeks to make it, and then he was caught drinking it.
Toilet punch.
Toilet punch, right? But they're saying,
They
but
had it on 60 days in. I learned how to make it. You gotta make the fruit and you take it and you get your commissary, you put it underneath your bed. No,
well, so of course his rep is going to say, because aren't they still petitioning for him to get out earlier? Of course they're going to say he didn't do it, but whose word? Who they're going to believe? The people at the jail or his rep? Linnea, what are your thoughts?
Man, listen, that man is in jail.
Right.
They do everything in jail that they would do out of jail. So what? So what? Like,
Well, the great thing, remember, he's in a rehab facility. He's supposed to be going to rehab while he's in jail, and so if he's caught drinking alcohol, that goes against him. He's supposed to get out early if he completes the program.
I know we ain't talking about stuff going to get stuff, and we just talked about that orange man. No, we ain't talking about stuff. Are we talking semantics here? I know we ain't talking about somebody doing something they ain't got no business doing with that man in office. You know what, Diddy? Have a drink in jail. Drink the toilet jungle juice and enjoy yourself.
He's not allowed to slip up. He's chocolate. He can't do that.
Can't do it.
Not allowed.
I mean,
Trump lost some of his orange. He's not as orange as he used to be. I don't know what happened.
Gonna tell. Like somebody gonna tell. So at this point, like because of the world that we live in now, it doesn't. Even if he doesn't, somebody can lie and say that he is because we really don't know this for fact. Do you understand what I'm saying? The same way that they was out there releasing them jailhouse conversation tapes. That ain't nothing but the inside job. So that you really can't take that for face value right now. You understand what I'm saying? Because somebody could be trying to have some form of a come up, you know what I mean, or just doing stuff to do it.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah, Chike, she's right. I mean, whose word do you go with? You know what I mean? This is.
That's why you have to cover yourself. Again, and when I was a child, my dad taught me about the black tax. The black tax is you have to go above and beyond because the other person next to you is an automatic shoo-in. So you have to do 100, 200, 300, 400% better than your counterpart.
Very true.
My cell will be next to the chapel. You hear me? I'll be in there all day, every day, my legs and arms crossed in prayer all the time. I didn't do it because this is where I've been. I'm walking the straight and narrow. I went out.
Very true. Very true. Brittany, any thoughts?
I guarantee you that nigga got a cell phone.
Oh yeah, they having everything. I was people on TikTok.
Your honor,
TikTok next month.
he TikToking, he FaceTiming, and he got a phone. You feel me? A burner phone.
Yeah.
Well, hey, look. Remember, if you're listening to the reports, remember when Epstein got locked up the first time, He was able to go to work.
Oh yeah,
He was
work
still
boots.
assaulting people while he was in jail. He was still criming. He was doing business deals all
Yeah.
while he was in jail. So look at the difference.
Yeah.
Before we dip off of this, and I don't know how true this is, but I saw something that came across that said that chick that was with that man, that that man allowed for her to have an emotional support pet.
Oh yeah,
Oh
she
no.
yeah, she
No,
has,
yes, that's true.
yeah.
What
That's
happened?
true.
And she has
She
food
gets meals
delivered.
brought to her cell.
Food
She gets
delivered.
Oh,
meals
what
brought to
happened?
her cell.
That lady
She
that was
gets
with Jeff Epstein, his
the warden is helping her write emails.
his
Like she's
ranking.
getting very preferential treatment.
Yeah, she is. She is. Rules ain't the same.
People in jail ain't doing what they need to do.
No, no. Listen, when we come back, Zendaya and Sydney Sweeney are reportedly at odds. Find out why. And Raven Simone, she's sharing how she personally separates Bill Cosby's cultural impact from the allegations against him. All that after we break. Right back.